One of the hottest trends in fishing are special kayaks built from the keel up just for anglers. And there's no better place to use today's new fishing kayaks than on the Connecticut River, based out of Wilgus State Park. Oh yeah. Oh, northern?
That's a big one. No, it's a big smallmouth. I moved from Atlanta, Georgia about 15 years ago. That first summer I didn't really have a plan other than to fish, and kept a journal and caught 1,100 bass over the course of the summer, and have been fishing the Connecticut River ever since.
Oh, that's a beautiful fish. That's a huge smallie.
Yeah, I saw him come up and I just stopped the bait, let it flutter, and he tucked it in.
And then he kind of greyhounded, and that's when I thought you'd hooked a northern.
Yeah, he ran right into the boat. The bass fishing in this section of the river is basically untapped. You have limited access. River depths on average are only about 3 feet, so you have very few power boats. It's primarily canoes and kayaks. Year in and year out, it's consistent, decent smallmouth fishing. Back it goes.
As head ranger for Wilgus State Park, Eric doesn't have to go far to get his bass fishing fix. Located in Wethersfield, Wilgus is the only state park on the Vermont side of the Connecticut River, and its wooded riverside campground is an ideal destination for anglers and paddlers.
We've got 15 tent and trailer sites, 6 lean-to sites, 4 cabins, and also a group area that has 3 lean-tos. We have a car top launch for canoe and kayak access. We also have boat rentals, canoes and kayaks, and are serviced by a local outfitter that will pick you up at the park, haul you upstream, and offer you a little bit larger view of the river. The shuttle service is run by North Star Canoe and Kayak Rentals. Along with our boats and gear, Eric and I were quickly ferried upstream to the Cornish boat landing, which provided a 6-mile float back to Wilgus State Park on one of the best stretches of river for smallmouth bass in New England. And the best way to experience this water is from a kayak. There we go. Perfect. The kayak will get you where you want to go. If you're in the wind in a canoe, it's rough. You're spending more time paddling than fishing. The kayak is sleek, draws maybe 3 or 4 inches of water, so you can go into shallower areas that the power boats can't go. You can't beat it. That's a beautiful bronzeback. Strong fish, strong river fish. Thank you. I fished out of bass boats and I fished out of canoes. I've probably been kayaking now for about 12, 15 years in this stretch of river. It's just, just a nice way to spend the day. I will say one thing about these seats over a canoe. They are comfortable. There's a lot more to fishing kayaks than just comfort. To better understand what these boats have to offer, we visited Steve Atocha, an avid kayak angler and owner of the Middlebury Mountaineer.
I grew up in kayaks, and I think that having these fishing kayaks hit the market, both in sit on top and sit in, has really changed the way I look at the water and water that I can access. What I love is the stability. The ease getting in and out of the boat, the stability. I mean, I've tried fishing in a traditional kayak where you're sitting on the floor and it's narrow, and it wasn't for me. When I tried these boats, I said, okay, these are great tools. And as you said, you can access so much water that you're not going to run a power boat into. Yeah.
So this is a sit-in design, which is sort of traditional, but with the removable chair. So you're a little bit elevated. What else does this boat have?
So feature-wise, this front hatch cover allows you to customize the boat however you want. Little things it comes with is a fly holder right here. It has storage for a map, GPS, little area for a phone if you want, but this is removable. And I tend to, as a fly fisherman, take these right off. So what you see when you're looking in here, one of the things that all of these boats will have in common is this stand assist strap, these movable or adjustable foot pegs, the rod staging right here, 2 rods fully rigged up on each side, as well as tackle storage. They all have a high seating and a low seating, plus I don't know if you've done this, but with mine, whenever I'm, kayak camping, taking this seat out and
Lunch
being able
break.
and being able to put it on the side of the river, using it near a campfire, unbelievable. So that's one of the features that all of these kayaks do share.
And they also, this has these tracks for adding accessories. You put a couple of rod holders in the back. Again, as you said, you can customize these so many different ways.
It's really, I think, something special with the fishing kayaks.
Well, it was a YouTube video that introduced me to something that I really love on this boat, because I use it on quicker water, riffly water, where you want to slow it down, free your hands to actually fish a run, and that's a drag anchor. And it's a heavy chain and a bicycle inner tube. Clip it onto my anchor line, and I can just slide it off onto the bottom, and it does a terrific job of keeping the boat pointing bow downstream, really slowing down my drift, and I just fish my way through the run. It works really slick. There we go.
In addition to the comfort, stability, and special features that these boats provide, they allow you to go where the fish are.
I saw this little hole back in here, all this timber. I said, there has to be a bass in there. Not a big one, but there was a bass.
A bonus to fishing the middle reaches of the Connecticut River in Vermont is the scenery. Hauling in strong smallmouth bass while enjoying great views of Mount Ascutney, or floating under the famous Windsor Cornish covered bridge isn't a bad way to spend a summer afternoon.
Do you know which state is responsible for snow removal on the covered bridges?
New Hampshire.
Well, nobody. It's a covered bridge.
The ease of getting in and out of our kayaks allowed us to break up our float with a little wading and shore fishing. It felt good to stretch our legs and, of course, catch even more fish.
Here's a fish. Another little guy. Jumper. Boy, he's pulling great with his current. I think these river fish are stronger than lake fish. That's a fish that's just a little over a foot.
The kayak I found is great for exploring. There's numerous islands and cobble bars along the way in this stretch of river, and you can just pull up, whether it be for lunch or to hop in and do some sight fishing while you wade around.
Beautiful Connecticut River smallie, not as big as the last guy, but this one came to hand.
After catching a few more bass, we were back in our kayaks, leisurely floating our way to Wilgus State Park.
Oh, there's one.
And all along the way, we caught bass that ranged from small and feisty to the occasional real lunker.
Oh, that's a big one too.
That's a good jumper.
A decent bass out of this river, I think, is 18 plus inches, and you're talking in the 3.5 to 4.5 pound range. I've caught them up close to 6 in this stretch. I'm sure there's bigger fish out there.
Same size, bigger, what do we have? That is an even nicer fish.
That's probably pushing 18 maybe.
If fishing from a kayak is on your to-do list, then a visit to Wilgus State Park could be just the ticket. You'll have access to a long, scenic section of the Connecticut River that is both easy to navigate and has no shortage of fish. And once you try it, you'll be hooked. As far as Eric is concerned, there's no better way to enjoy a summer day.
Whether you have a 50 fish day or a 5 fish day, just being out here and getting one of these makes it all worthwhile. It's different every time you go out. The fish are always there. I know they're there, and it's always a challenge, and it never gets old. Back it goes.